Every dollar is like an employee because that dollar goes out and it makes more dollars, but your dollars have to make sense. If it doesn't, then it's not working for you. I want to take a moment and talk to you about income producing assets. Now, as you go out here day to day and you work and you do what you do, it's important to do things in a manner which is working smarter and not necessarily harder. So when you look at investing your money, when you want to get into a different mindset when you look at your purchases and be focused in a place where you are buying income producing assets. You're not just buying debt. So this morning we went and delivered our 38-foot Class A luxury RV. And we did that under our business, Recreational Rentals. So our son, 16 years old, he has his own business, has had it for about 3 years where he rents out recreational equipment. So from the luxury RV to the 4-seater golf cart to the Jeep that's behind me. So those are income producing assets. Now we have some other ones that I'm gonna share with you. Let me turn my camera around. See that 3-wheeler over there? That's also part of Recreational Rentals, and it's an income producing asset. So as we look at doing things monetarily smart and different, you have to evaluate your mindset. You have to determine, are you making smart purchases? See, there's 3 different, segments of our population, meaning we have our poor population, our mid-class population, and our wealthy population. So once we begin to think how the wealthy think, we start doing things that the wealthy do. And that is investing in income producing assets, where we're not just taking on debt to have what we would deem enjoyable things, but we're allowing our money to continue to make money. So you gotta be willing to not just make money to pay bills. When you make money just to pay bills, that's operating with a poor mentality. When you get to a position where you think that your income is good and your focus now turns from money into paying my bills on time so that I can establish good credit to be able to buy the things that I want, that's a mid-class mindset. But if you want to have a wealthy mindset, you got to change your thinking. You got to look at everything as the opportunity in which it could be. We look at everything as an opportunity. When we look at something, we look to see how that can bring a return to what it is that we are investing. So that Jeep, that's an income producing asset. This F-350 that I'm standing in front of, it's an income producing asset. You know why? Because it pulls the 27-foot boat that we have that's part of Recreational Rentals that we'll rent out. So having an income producing asset is what you want to begin to think about. How can I turn this dollar? For us, every dollar is like an employee because that dollar goes out and it makes more dollars, but your dollars have to make sense. If it doesn't, then it's not working for you. I want you to get into a different frame of mind of thinking, a way of doing things better, but you've got to start with how you think. You got to start with what's your relationship with money? How do you think of it? Oftentimes we think about money the way we were trained or raised up. So we have the same mindset as perhaps our parents did. We have the same principles that we operate by based on how we grew up. So if you're growing up, you didn't have a relationship with money beyond paying bills, you got to change that. So let's start thinking about how we can work smarter and not necessarily harder, but we got to know the rules of the game, the rules of engagement to play. Okay? And if you want to know more about the rules, just follow us and we'll inform you as we go along. We're going to start capturing some of our day-to-day activity just so you can see how we move, how we operate, what we talk about. We are strong believers in God. So our faith is first and foremost. We step out on faith every day and we ask God to go before us and lead and direct and guide us into all decisions, everything that we do on a daily basis. And he just goes from glory to glory to glory. So we want to share that with you. We want you to begin to understand that experience. Begin to think about how you can have that experience. We help a lot of people with tax resolution, tax problems, dealing with the IRS, because they didn't necessarily start things the right way, especially small business owners. They don't know the rules of engagement, and we do. So once we get you in a place out of trouble, once we get you to a place of peace, then we can help you navigate the terrain so that you know how to operate and that you don't find yourself back in that same place. So income producing assets, that's important. That's a requirement. Stop spending money that's not making you